it's now time for the New Hampshire Wildcats here with Coach Sean McDonnell. And you want me to address DeAndre as Drum, but we'll make it official. DeAndre Drummond-Mayrie of New Hampshire. And, every time we get to New Hampshire, it becomes the kind of the portion of Media Day Live where I congratulate you on making the playoffs. And I ask you how you've been able to continue such consistency. If you want that answer, I'm sure you've given it 13 times about by now during Media Day. But what did last year specifically and the way you were able to get into the playoffs mean to you?
It was huge. There was one Sunday night that we were sitting there and, after losing to Albany, and they came to New Hampshire and did a hell of a job and took it to us, and hats go off to them. They beat us pretty good, and we regrouped. And the one thing I've always appreciated about our football program and the kids that I coach, we let it go. After 24 hours, let it go. And I said, we got to go play Maine. Mm-hmm. And, we got identical records. And I said, let's go up there and play the game the way we're supposed to play it and see how the cards fall. And then fortunately for us, the way the cards fell, that some teams fell into a loss that had to lose. And, beating Maine was huge because of the way they had played all year. And fortunately, we got the opportunity to go to the playoffs one more year. And I'll tell you, that locker room that Sunday was unbelievable, Drummond. I mean, there was an emotion and feeling because there was a nervousness, and none of us knew when the name came up there, man. We knew we got a second life to do something. We played very, very well next week against Lehigh, and then ran into JMU like everybody else did in the country. But I was very proud of the program. We played some tough games, lost to JMU in a tough one at home, and then lost the Albany game, but came back, and that was always been a really big part of our program about letting things go, and we did a good job that year with it.
Your 19th season with New Hampshire, and 13 years in a row, New Hampshire has made it to the FCS playoffs. How do you address with your team kind of the pressure that comes each year with continuing that streak?
Well, I don't know if it's a pressure. I want to tell them I think it's a responsibility. I also want to tell them that it's a whole different cast of characters every year. I want to tell them that it's important for them. There's a legacy that they're going to build somewhere on their tombstone. There's going to be a dash, and what happened in that dash is really important, And so in their 4 or 5 year dash here, this year is special. So they'll figure it out.
Like we've been talking about, 13 straight playoff appearances. From a player's perspective, I know he says he preaches, not to allow pressure, but is it almost something that you can't help when you're going through a season like you were last year, thinking like, oh no, this could be the season that we might not make it?
Yeah, of course you have that, that stress. You don't want to be the one team that doesn't make it, the first team not to make it. But Coach Mack always does a great job of stressing, one game at a time and all that stuff like that. So we always just try to look at the next game and try to take it one game at a time, and then you just got to win each one to make it there. So try not to think about it too much.
Obviously, outside of making the playoffs last year, a lot of excitement for the program. Opening up the new stadium, what was that like against Holy Cross that game? Opening the new stadium, the way you guys won that game as well, especially on the defensive end at the end. Talk about that moment.
It was awesome. I was so excited for that game. It's probably one of the most excited I've ever been for a game ever. Brand new stadium, Jumbotron, massive amount of fans. It was just crazy. The game was sold out like a month before the game was played. So it was just so exciting. Then we started off a little slow, but then to come back and win it like that at home for the first opening game was just awesome.
What does Drum mean to your football program, and what should we expect from the defense this year?
Well, first of all, he's the senior leader of the defense, and he got picked by the players. That's why I love our, captains. We make our players choose the captain. They play him. And Drum had the unfortunate situation of having to play as a true freshman in our program right away, and has gotten better every year. Had another guy had a tremendous spring for us. He's the leader of the group back there with experience, but more importantly with poise and patience. And we've lost a couple of guys that have had that type of presence: a Casey DeAndre, Ryan Farrell, Cam Shorey. And just watching him this spring, watching him this summer, listen to him talk to guys, this is what he's got to bring. Relax, play the game, but more importantly, be that senior leader taking care of some things.
Let's flip it over to the offensive side of things for you. Now, your quarterback, Trevor Knight, battled through some injuries a season ago, but he's got some wide receivers and won all-conference in the preseason. What should we expect from the offense?
Well, what we got to expect from the offense is to continue to do what we've always done, have the quarterback be a distributor. Mm-hmm. And that's very important for Trevor and our offensive guys to know, is that take what they give us, get it to the right people. We got O'Connor, we got Malik Love. We have a kid that has not played a whole lot that might be better than both those guys, and Kieran Presley, who's a talented kid, but he's been injured. got Rory Donovan. I'm excited about the 3 or 4 running backs going to play for us this year. Again, in our offense, the key is get the ball to a lot of people, take your reads, put it to people, Trevor, do the right thing, get it, and then let it take care of itself.
Obviously, when we look at the schedule, we just talked to Maine a second ago. You guys are opening up with the Black Bears. They're calling it the Thursday Throwdown to open up the year. Real catchy. I like it. Talk about playing Maine. Now the first game of the year, not the last game of the year.
It's different, you got a kind of unsettling feeling about it because you're so used to playing the last game of the year. We have a tradition, we do the speeches before the games, and you get to see their whole years of film before you play them. Now it's kind of just opening it up, first game of the season. Anything can happen the first game of the season, but I am really excited to open it up on a Thursday night. Whole camp's going to be there, a lot of fans, play against our biggest rival. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, we definitely look forward to that as well.
We switched helmets in between coaches, and we had to wait until Maine was fully off the stage. They didn't want to be near the New Hampshire helmet. You guys didn't want to be near the Maine helmet either. Now, starting off the year, not only with a rivalry game, but with a CAA game, how important is that to start 1-0 and get things on the right foot?
Well, again, it's the first game.
Yeah.
And it's the most important game because it's the next one. But the implications, getting off on the right foot in the CAA, you want to be 1-0, not 0-1. It's FCS game, So when you've played non-league games or you've played a Division I opponent in the first game, I always preach whatever happens, because the next 10 games determine our future. That one game where we're playing against a Division I opponent's fine, win it, lose it, whatever it is, guys. But understand, there are 10 other games that are going to determine if we get to the playoffs or not. So that added part of it makes it, again, something special. Thursday night throwdown, I love that the people have figured that out. But to us, it's Maine, New Hampshire.
Yep.
We could play in a rest area on 95, and it'd be a hell of a game, and it'd be a competitive game, and it'd be a battle. And that's what it's going to be that night.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I hope next year I'm asking you how you got to number 14.
I hope
Best
so
of luck
too,
this
Scott.
season.
Thanks, man.
Best of luck to you. We're going to take a